Welcome back to That's DPI. I'm Tyler, and this is Zach. And in season 1 of That's DPI podcast, we already have the Chiefs and the Lions together playing on Thanksgiving. Now, Zach, your team plays every year, so this is nothing special for you. But for me, the Chiefs have not played on Thanksgiving since 2006, so I'm very excited
Wow.
for it. But before we get into our Thanksgiving episode special, we do have a Chiefs Stadium update. A couple weeks ago, it was reported that the Chiefs have called on architecture firms to submit plans for a domed stadium holding 65,000 seats for the location of 435 and 70, which is the Legends area, where Legends Complex is. So this is big because architecture firms across the metro or across the country are currently working to create an actual plan for what a domed 65,000 seat stadium would be like in Kansas. It does not mean that the Chiefs are officially moving to Kansas, but it is a big step in that direction.
Yeah, it seems a little bit. It's obviously it's not fully committal, but it seems a little committal. I mean, if you're willing to pay for architectural firms' time to get you some mock-ups of a stadium that looks that would be in that location, and this was a location that has always been rumored that the Kansas City Chiefs would be attracted to. It's a growing district that they could really turn into their own kind of title town area. The Legends. There's already the Kansas City Speedway and the Sporting KC Stadium out there as well. So lots of events already in that area. But yeah, I think that's a big development.
And the casino's out there too, so there's already
Right.
a jump start on with all those stadiums plus the casino. There's already a jump start on things to do, on parking, on hotels there. It's a great start. All the Chiefs would need to do is build the stadium, and everything else is already developed. So again, it does not mean that they're officially moving to Kansas, let alone that location. But in the coming months, it is something to pay attention to.
If they build it, if you build it, they will come, right? Uh,
Absolutely. And
so
people will come if they build it, that's for sure.
But yeah, Kansas side, that would be big for the state of Kansas because I know it's been an ongoing battle between both states to see who can offer up an attractive enough package to get, the most recognizable sports brand in the last 5 years to build a brand new stadium in their state. So
Yeah.
we'll keep you guys updated on that. Make sure that as soon as we hear anything, we'll let you know once the Chiefs start getting a little bit more committal because this seems like half committal, I would say.
And the one other thing I want to say too is the Chiefs are keeping what they're doing very secretive. You guys know that I work for the Chiefs, and I asked my boss. I was like, "Listen, like between you and me, what what are they doing? They don't even know. Either that or she didn't tell me, but they don't even know. It is like Clark Hunt and Mark Donovan are the only ones that know anything. On top of just whatever gets released via interview by the two of them." Clark Hunt and Mark Donovan, the Chiefs owner and president of football operations, are the only two guys that are really in the scoop of what's going on.
Maybe we shouldn't have left the line to meet Clark Hunt for Brett Veach at training camp, so we could have gotten the inside scoop. But
Honestly, yeah, we should have been like, Clark Hunt, what's going on with the
what are
new
you
stadium?
doing? Where are you building the new stadium, Clark? Sorry, guys, we chose our sanity. We wanted to meet Brett Veach over Clark Hunt. That's our bad. We screwed up there. But we have a special episode. We are not going to do our usual recap content because there's a ton of games on Thursday. It's just a weird schedule. We wanted to give you guys a full, fun episode full of Thanksgiving shenanigans, just stories, fun little activities, and then, wrap it up with what we're all thankful for. Maybe we'll make this a yearly tradition since my team always plays on Thanksgiving. And with how the NFL is treating Kansas City, maybe you guys will start to play on Thanksgiving every year too. But we have a lot on the docket today. So do you want to get us started with our first segment?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a Thanksgiving food draft. So the idea is that Zach and I have to fill a plate of 4 items and we're going to draft them. Whatever I pick, Zach cannot pick for his plate, and whatever Zach picks, I cannot pick for my plate, which is why we're only doing 4 items because that's going to be 8 Thanksgiving items total. Um, I mean, I kind of want to draft first, but I'll be courteous since it's that Thanksgiving time of year. Zach, you can have the first pick of the Thanksgiving food
Ooh,
plate.
that's so much pressure. What am I? So I don't want to go obvious like turkey, right? Nobody wants turkey to be the first pick. So for me, the first overall pick has to be a sweet dish. You got to take monopoly on those sweet, hard-hitting dishes. So we're gonna go first pick of the Thanksgiving draft here in 2025. I will select pumpkin pie as my
Pumpkin pie
choice.
as pick one. You're going straight for the dessert.
Oh, I go straight for the desserts on Thanksgiving anyway. But
Okay.
pumpkin pie
I mean, same, but
is my selection. It's sweet.
mm,
It is specifically and distinctly Thanksgiving. Not like mac and cheese where you could have it any Panera bread on a Tuesday. Pumpkin
mhm.
pie is the Thanksgiving dessert, and I would like to claim monopoly over the signature Thanksgiving dessert.
I like your pick. I don't know if I like it at number one though, but you've gifted me my number one pick, and I'm going turkey. I know turkey's a hot take, but I like turkey, and turkey's Thanksgiving's the only time that I get to have turkey because nobody else seems to like turkey on Thanksgiving. So I'm going turkey. Give me the turkey.
Yeah, turkey's tough though because it's a little bit inconsistent sometimes. You get stuck with a dry turkey and Thanksgiving's ruined. You don't want a dry turkey. I just think it's hard to screw up pumpkin pie. What are your thoughts on
That
that?
you know what? That's fair, and I didn't consider the bad Thanksgiving turkey. Maybe my mom and sister just do good turkey every year. I've
And
I've never really had a consistently bad turkey. A couple parts of the turkey that's like, not a fan of that leg. I like this leg better. But like, I've always had good turkey. And good
interesting.
turkey, it's worth the reach. If you get good turkey on Thanksgiving, that's the best thing on your plate.
Fascinating. Okay, so if you're gonna go turkey, then with my second, do we want to go snake and allow you go another pick before I go? We could go snake, make it fair. I'm also in the giving spirit here for Thanksgiving.
I mean, it just back and if there was more than two of us, I'd say yeah, let's do snake. With it just being two, we just go back and forth.
Okay, well, I've got my second pick down. I feel like I've been
Okay.
gifted mashed potatoes and gravy here, the best
Ooh,
side
okay.
of
That's
Thanksgiving.
good.
I'm going really fatty, and I got the starch, I got the sugar, but my plate's gonna be really
That's
good.
good. If mashed potatoes was available for my third pick, I'd be there because the thing that I like over mashed potatoes is creamed corn. I
Ooh, okay.
love creamed corn. That's gonna be my second pick. So I've got turkey and I've got creamed corn on my plate.
Look at you getting a vegetable in there. Okay, I will follow
Creamed corn's
suit,
so good.
and I will get.
Regular corn's still good, but creamed corn especially.
I tend to agree. I'm gonna go with a. This is a controversial take. I could very easily get a lot of hate for this, but I want a vegetable on my plate, but I don't want a very plain vegetable like carrots or something like that. So we are gonna go green bean casserole
Ooh,
in
the
the third
casserole's good.
selection. I
That's a
my
good third pick.
kind of like how you said your family makes a good turkey. My family always comes strapped with a delicious green bean casserole, and I will not be skipping that on my
Mm,
plate.
that's fair. That's a good. You got two Hall of Fame players, the green bean casserole, and mashed potatoes. I think my plate's a lot of all stars, possibly some Hall of Famers as well. I got the turkey, I got the creamed corn, and now I'm going stuffing. Stuffing
Oh,
is my third pick.
I was hoping you wouldn't say it, but stuffing is an elite selection. You can't pass up stuffing on Thanksgiving, right?
It's so good. In I feel like stuffing is that very hit or miss thing. Not everyone likes stuffing, right? It's had some negative attention in the media lately. But at the end of the day, though, when you put it on your plate and you get it in the locker room, they're going to perform well for your team.
Absolutely a consistent dish. It's really hard to screw up stuffing. But for my final selection, you look at my team in the construction of my team, and I did this on purpose. I selected a lot of side supplementary pieces, but I'm missing the Jared Goff of this offense. I am
Mm-hmm.
missing the protein, the meat. And so I'm going to go
I
with
think I
a,
know where you're
a
going.
honey ham for my
There
fourth
it is.
selection because
There
you
it
took
is.
turkey, and I respect you for taking turkey, but nothing like a good honey ham to round out a plate full of unhealthy, non protein containing items.
I like that. Ham fall into the fourth pick. You got the potatoes, you got the pie, you got the pumpkin pie. That's a good ham saved your team, I think.
Right. And
A,
I'm
a
thinking,
late round ham definitely saved your team there because
And
now
Ham
you
gets
do have a full plate.
right, and it gets a pro comp to Jared Goff because is Ham turkey? No, turkey is the Patrick Mahomes of Thanksgiving. Okay,
Hmm.
but Jared Goff, he gets the job done. Their statistics are similar. They both got protein. Ham is the selection, and he fell all the way to fourth. Maybe a little bit of an undesirable trait here or there, but Ham certainly rounds out the plate. But I'm curious to see.
Hmm.
I left you a layup here at fourth. I'm going to see if you take it.
Oh, I don't know about the layup. All right, so let's see. So first off, your final team now is in no
Pumpkin
order. It
pie,
was pumpkin pie, mashed potatoes, um,
green bean
ham,
casserole.
and green bean casserole. And so my plate is turkey, creamed corn, stuffing. I feel like I need a dessert. Pumpkin pie is of course off the table. So I am going to go apple pie.
Mm.
I like apple pie. I think it's not the Thanksgiving staple that pumpkin pie is, but in my fourth round pick, it's still a fall dessert. It works well. It's good. I like it. Who did you think that the layup was gonna be? Who's the
Honestly,
undrafted free agent?
honestly reconsidering it because you said stuffing. I thought you were gonna go dinner rolls, like butter dinner rolls, because
Oh
they are such a
yeah,
good and everyone loves them. But
that is
the
good. I
bread and
should
the
have done dinner rolls.
right, and I knew that I was
I'm
leaving
gonna
you dinner
sign dinner
rolls.
rolls as an undrafted free agent.
UDFA dinner rolls has made his way to Tyler's team. But I figured
Yes.
maybe stuffing and dinner rolls is too much bread, but you can't pass up a good dinner roll. So all in
Yeah,
all,
that is a really good one. I'm satisfied with both of our teams. I think I was really worried about how your team was gonna look, but then when you got that meat, that you got that honeyed ham, I was like, all right, you saved it.
I'm like the Brad Holmes
Please.
of Thanksgiving, right? I got the late round picks hitting, but sorry I cut you off there.
There you go. I was gonna just tell the audience, please let us know which plate you would take out of our two. And also what is your Thanksgiving plate looking like?
Yeah, feel free to choose from the ones that we chose, or if we missed something like cranberry sauce got left off and that's something that you die for, make sure to debate us down in the comments. Debate yourselves too. Like let's find out the true best
Hmm.
plate of Thanksgiving. But I like that
Yams is
one.
another one that I noticed we left off. I'm not a yams person, but that is like another Thanksgiving staple.
Scalloped potatoes and mac and cheese also notably left off. So great options still on the board here in day 3 of the, the Thanksgiving draft.
The Thanksgiving food
Can you
draft.
tell Tyler and I missed draft coverage? But
No, literally, it's a lot of fun. We're always going to debate it.
but yeah, that concludes our draft of Thanksgiving foods. What'd you have next on the docket for us? I'm letting you run the show today.
Um, yeah, I do want to discuss a little bit of NFL football. We're going to stick with the Thanksgiving theme. We're not going to preview games. If you want to preview games, you can go to NFL Network, right? I want to discuss memorable player performances on Thanksgiving. I've got 3 specific player performances that this is of course player performances on Thanksgiving Day. I've got 3 particular players. I know you've got at least one good Thanksgiving performance.
Yeah,
You want
I
me to share mine and then you share your stories, or do you want to start us off there?
yeah, give us your 3 because I don't want to take any if I accidentally share one that you have. I'll save mine to the end and we can talk about it.
My one, or yeah, my number one, actually, I didn't really rank these, but if I had to, number one would be a 1998 performance
Randy
of
Moss.
Randy Moss for the Minnesota Vikings against the Dallas Cowboys. Randy Moss only had 3 receptions in this game. However, those 3 receptions came with 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had 1 reception per touchdown. And this came in a Vikings victory of 46-36. It's extremely memorable. 3 receptions for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns for Randy Moss.
I mean, that's just like the fastest kid at recess stat line every afternoon recess, right? I mean, just send
Yeah.
the kid deep and throw it as far as you can. That's exactly what Randy Moss did. I know one of them was actually on a screen or a short pass that he just took up the sideline. I can see the play in my head. But what a
Yeah.
legendary performance. I mean, you see the stat line posted everywhere every Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. The next one is actually going to be your team, Zach. It is coming from 1 year prior to this. It's 1997. Barry Sanders, another 3-touchdown performance, 167 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Lions defeated the Chicago Bears here, 55-20. Again, over 150 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns from one of the greatest to ever do it at the running back position.
Yeah, and I know if you're looking for some supplemental long-form content, the NFL actually uploaded this game in full with the John Madden broadcast, and it's on YouTube. And I watched it on a plane ride earlier this year, and it is a phenomenal performance. Watching Barry Sanders is like no player I've ever watched, and I know that you got to watch him because you're ancient, but I never did. So watching Barry Sanders must have been a real treat, huh, Tyler? I'm very
For context to the viewers, Zach is 2 years younger than me. Zach is 2 years younger than me. I never watched Barry Sanders play, unfortunately. As much as I would love to have been able to say I did, no, I am not that old, despite what my middle school students think.
No, didn't they think that you were able to witness the Baltimore Colts play football?
Yeah, yeah. The Baltimore Colts have not been a thing since 1983. If you're watching this podcast, you're probably familiar with the Baltimore Colts. Then their infamous move in 1983. Couple years ago, I was telling my students when the Chiefs made the Super Bowl, I was like, guys, like enjoy this. Like this is not normal. Please like enjoy this. When I was in middle school, the Chiefs were horrid, but one year they finally made the playoffs. And they were up big at halftime and then lost to heartbreak. And I had a student ask which team that they were playing. I said the Colts. And of course, if you're a Chiefs fan, you remember the infamous 2013 wild card game against the Colts. But I said it was the Colts. And he, in all seriousness, goes, "Is that when they were still in Baltimore?" And I'm like, "What?"
Your students think
It
you
was
are
the most.
absolutely ancient. It's so
It
funny.
was the most ball knowledgeable roast I've ever heard from my students.
Was it on purpose, or did he truly think you were that elderly?
I think he was genuinely asking if it was from when they were still in Baltimore.
Oh, that's such a good one, though. Oh my gosh,
Crazy, but
an
yeah. So
absolute
my
classic.
my performances so far again are 1998 Randy Moss, 3 receptions, 3 touchdowns. 1997 Barry Sanders, 167 yards and 3 touchdowns. My third one, Tom Brady had a pretty big performance in 2010, but I want to stick with 2004 Peyton Manning. On Thanksgiving in 2004, Peyton Manning led the Colts against your team, Zach, to a 41-9 victory. His stat line is 23 for 28 for 236 yards and a whopping 6 touchdowns.
Good grief. Yeah, that sounds like a team. That sounds like a typical Lions Thanksgiving, especially in that era, because that was like the Joey Harrington era. Oof.
And I think 2004 might have been Peyton Manning's MVP season, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
Or at
04,
least around it anyway.
definitely. At least in a first team All Pro year, not MVP.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a great performance, by the way. And I wish that I got to watch classic Manning on those Colts teams with Marvin Harrison, whose son is now in the NFL. It's crazy. But there's one performance that you left off. There's actually two. I'm going to cover both of them. There's one that's from a little earlier than that. It's actually from when the Baltimore Colts were still in Baltimore, and it's 1982, and it's a vintage Lawrence Taylor game. And if you guys know what game I'm talking about, this might be the only time you could say a defensive player single-handedly won a game for a team. The New York Giants won this game 13-6 against Detroit, of course. And Lawrence Taylor was absolutely a force all day, collapsing the pocket. And with the game tied up late, he takes a 97-yard pick six to the house to seal the victory and win it for New York. Unbelievably individual effort from Lawrence Taylor, and one of the things that made him the most dominant player, in my opinion, in NFL history. So I would be remiss if I didn't bring up his performance.
I think that's great. I mean, defenses often get overlooked, even though even though the NFL history does not forget defenses. I think just given that we're in such an offensive state today, we do forget a lot of the defensive performances. So I think that's a great thing to highlight is just any great defensive performance
Yeah, I can't
and
forget
defensive
about those
team for that matter.
for sure. And that team was led by their defense and by Lawrence Taylor. So, but there's one final performance that we didn't cover yet, and it's a particularly special performance to me. As you guys know, I'm a Lions fan that has lived his entire life in Kansas City. It's very strange. It's like, what is the polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas, right? So, when I was a kid, prior to around 2015, I would say I detested football. As crazy as those who know me know, it was true. I didn't like football. People that liked football annoyed me, and the sport I thought was very stupid. So but credit to my two next door neighbors, Kyle and Brent Smith. They got me into playing the game and then actually watching the game with the NFL. And it was those same neighbors that right around middle school started a fantasy football league. And so our first year of a fantasy football league that's still going to this day, it just hit a decade of playing. Same founders, Kyle and Brent still play, and we still meet at my parents' house because the league mates refuse to meet anywhere else. So I have to call and reserve my parents' house. I don't live there anymore, but we still have to host the draft at their house because that's where we've done it for the past decade. But the first year was in 2015, and I selected my favorite player, Calvin Johnson, for that team, right?
Now,
And
is this your favorite player at the time, or is this what made him become your favorite player?
so that's a good question. So that was the year that I started playing football, and I had not. And it was a year in which we all got custom jerseys, and I still have this jersey. And we got to choose our numbers, and I got the names on the back and everything. It was such a cool experience. It was the first time I'd ever played a sport like that, because soccer, we just got kits that had no names on them or whatever. And I didn't have a signature number. Any sport before that, I just got assigned a number, or I didn't have a player I looked up to choose their number. I had nothing. So I was at the back of the line. I got all the way to the front, and all the good single digit numbers are taken, like 1, 5, 8, 9, whatever. And so I was like, crap, I have no number. I don't know what to choose. And I get to choose any number. I was like, Dad, what's a good wide receiver in the NFL right now? I don't watch the NFL. I don't know. But that's the position I was going to play, wide receiver. And he goes, Calvin Johnson's pretty good, I think. And so I chose 81, went home and watched his highlights, and he is absolutely, bar none, the coolest player I've ever watched. And so I became a fan of him then, and that's the only reason I knew who he was, to draft him as my first overall pick in 2015. And that paid off in Thanksgiving of that year. Playoffs in fantasy are coming down to the wire, and Calvin Johnson gets 14 targets, 8 catches for 3 touchdowns and 93 yards in a rout of the Philadelphia Eagles, 45-14. The Lions stunk that year. They were 4-7 going into that game, but Calvin Johnson won me my fantasy week that week, and then I went on to win the championship of our inaugural league because of him. Absolutely spectacular memory. I still remember one of those touchdowns. He's along the sideline, and he catches it, and and he drags that last toe, and it was a beautiful toe tap touchdown. And then, unfortunately, the very next year, he retires, and he's gone from the league for good at 30 years old. And I never get to watch another snap of Calvin Johnson. But those memories of actually getting to watch him as a kid were electric.
One of the things that I find fascinating about you and I, Zach, is that you and I both have a very similar situation of our first jersey number is a Lions player, and our first fantasy championship also came from a Lions player. In sixth grade, I was a nose guard. I was an 85-pound sixth grade nose guard, and I chose the number 90 because of Ndamukong Suh, who everyone knows is certainly someone kids should be looking up to.
Were you stomping a little bit?
I should have been. It would have made me a better player, honestly. And then a couple years later, when I was in high school in 2016, I won the fantasy championship with Matthew Stafford as my quarterback.
Yeah, he was a very popular quarterback for me and during those years. I mean, he's still a great fantasy quarterback even to this day. If you have Stafford, you're probably doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Yeah, weird parallels there. When we found that out, I was very interested at those coincidences there. We also both love the history of the sinking of the Titanic. So, new podcast episode coming about the history of the Titanic next week. Make sure to tune in. We would love to have you there. But
if we can somehow tie it into how the Titanic affected like the NFL's legacy, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be an episode for sure.
How the sinking of the Titanic led to the hiring of Dan Campbell, coming up next week. But
honestly, I'm a teacher who's off all of this week. Maybe I can find some. Maybe I can find something and string some stuff together.
A teacher with time is very deadly. You know, it's very dangerous. But I know we have other Thanksgiving stuff on the docket. So what's next on our list of things to cover, Tyler?
I've just got really one more thing, and it's just kind of what we're thankful for. NFL edition, and so I can start us off. As a Chiefs fan, I am forever thankful of Andy Reid. The Chiefs have been the laughing stock of the NFL up until Andy Reid came in. I remember in fourth grade kind of being made fun of for like being such a big Chiefs fan because they sucked. And now those same people that make fun of me are like also going to the games. And so I am forever thankful for Andy Reid, the foundation of our dynasty.
That's a good one. I am forever thankful for the Chicago Bears providing endless entertainment for Lions fans. I harken back to last Thanksgiving where they lost a crucial game by just letting the clock run out and not calling a timeout. And there's also been many, they don't have a 4,000-yard passer. And it's just, as a team who is still in the stage of getting made fun of because you have no Super Bowl appearances, at least there's the Chicago Bears where you can go laugh at and make yourself feel better. I'm thankful for the Chicago Bears.
I've got two more. My first one is Isaiah Pacheco. Not because he's done anything major, but just the way he runs is so funny. He looks like an elementary kid just running with no actual running form, but he's such a good runner, and it's so funny to watch him run. So I'm thankful for Isaiah Pacheco's running form.
Yeah, I am thankful for Jahmyr Gibbs because he has absolutely carried my terrible fantasy team this year, and we might make the playoffs because of him. And he put up 55 points last week, and he is doing things that haven't been done since Barry Sanders. And it feels like almost sacrilege to say things like that. But we're entering territory where we have to start comparing the two. And so I will be forever thankful for Brad Holmes taking the 12th overall pick and spending it on a running back, and it being Jahmyr Gibbs.
My final one is I am thankful for Duke Tobin, the general manager for the Cincinnati Bengals, for his failure of economics and salary cap and the way he has paid Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase that will eventually lead to the Cincinnati Bengals filing bankruptcy. I'm very thankful for that as well.
That's a good one. I have one last one too, and it's of the similar vein. I am thankful to NFL referees because without their abysmal, horrible, terrible, no good, very bad calls in games that Tyler and I have attended together that we still haven't talked about. It's a running joke. We will not talk about it. The 2023 game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. I'm thankful for Brad Allen and the rest of the terrible NFL refereeing crews because without them, we would not have this weekly podcast that Tyler and I have so much fun bringing you guys every week. So I'm thankful for the refs.
I do actually have one bonus one kind of carrying off of the origins of our podcast. I'm thankful for our viewers. Engaging with you guys online and in the comment section is a lot of fun. We're very excited to debate Thanksgiving food and hearing what you're thankful for and hearing about your stories of Thanksgiving performances and Thanksgiving games as well. So I'm thankful to the audience as well.
I share that sentiment. We're thankful even for you, viewer, that commented that it looks like we tush push each other. We're still thankful for you and your comments. Any engagement matters. And we are thankful.
That comment.
We are thankful for all of them. But with that, is that the end of our Thanksgiving special this year?
That's what we've got this week.
I can't wait for the next Thanksgiving special. But thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy Thanksgiving with your families. Hopefully enjoy Lions and Chiefs victories, and we will see you all next week.
Appreciate you guys.